Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to create an amazing ticker item on your website. It's actually very 90s, but it's super nice again, so let's do this. I'm going to show you how to do this only with CSS, no JavaScript at all. It's actually super simple and you only need a few lines of code. So let's take a look. It's going to look like this here on the website. I just put it directly here into the footer. Of course, you can put it wherever you want. You could put it in between a blog post or underneath your header or where you want to have it. So let's take a look. For this tutorial, I'm using WordPress. It's super simple to build this in WordPress. You can, of course, build this everywhere. The rules we are applying are all the same on every web design system. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm opening this in my theme builder because I'm going to show you how to do this on a particular part of my website, which is the footer. So I'm using Thrive themes. I think it's the best WordPress page builder thingy you can have, but you don't need a page builder to do exactly what we are doing here. So you can follow this tutorial on every page builder you use. But anyway, if you use Thrive or if you think about using Thrive, please consider using my affiliate link in the description in order to get it. And as soon as you're there, you can go to manage templates and work inside your templates directly, or you go to your dashboard, Thrive dashboard, and in here you have things like global elements, and this is what I'm going to use. So the global elements, there we have our headers and footers, and for the sake of these tutorials I have this footer created and I'm going to open this. So what we are doing is we are going to build exactly what we have here on the bottom of this footer, and it's an attention grabber. So as soon as people get tired and they come down to your website, blah blah blah, don't want to look any further, they come here and see that, which gets them to think again, which is great. So we want people to interrupt and get them to engage again with what you want to say to them. So that's a very nice form to do this. So I'm deleting that for the sake of this tutorial in order to show you how to do this. The first thing I need is some kind of wrapper for the item itself. So I'm putting in a background section. So I can click on that and make sure that it stretches the whole screen width. Which is very important, and the content covers entire screen width. You could do this with CSS as well, and of course this is basically enabling CSS, but yeah, that's the easiest way on how to do that. And then I will have a height here which is 30 pixels. So now I have this small thingy down here and I say okay, in layout, let's put a margin of 20 pixels there, so it doesn't stick directly under the last sentence here. Okay, so that's that. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm putting in a background color. So my background color is our torch red, and I want the typography of this container in light blue. So that's that. And now, of course, I need to put in some text. But if you would take a text thingy from here, I couldn't create the actual necessary HTML and therefore the CSS. So what I'm going to look for is HTML. You have this HTML block nowadays everywhere. You even have it in native page builder of WordPress. So use the HTML block to build exactly that. And in that, I will write P for paragraph and close this. And in here, I have my text now. So let's automate this. Let's take that and save it. So now I have here my message. It looks kind of funny. It's very, very small, very hard to see. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the size, and I make it bold and I make it italic. So that's that. And I'm going to change the size to 17 pixels. So now it's a little bit easier to see, but as you can see, it's only one item, so it's very difficult to fill the whole area of this ticker. So the idea what we're trying to create is something what repeats itself infinitely and what's walking or moving to the right side. So that's the effect we want to achieve. And actually that's very simple. We can do this with transform in CSS. So that's what we're going to use. I can save that. And now I need to put in my CSS rules. I could put this in here as well. It's not the best decision to put it in here. So I'm going to do this in appearance and customize. Every WordPress has this customizer, and in every customizer I can put in additional CSS. So that's what I'm going to do. So here is everything already. I'm taking all of that out. And now in here, in the CSS customizer, I can put in my CSS rules. So first we're creating the first rule for the whole thingy, which will be called ticker. So we're creating a class. You create a class by typing a point or a period, and then give it a name. So we are calling it ticker. So therefore we have now our first class, and then we're opening and closing with curly brackets. And in here we can write our rules. So the first thing is we're going to define the display. Display is flex. So that's very, very important. The next thing is a flex rule. It's flex wrap, no wrap. And now if I save that, let's publish this. And let's go to our preview here. So I'm loading that. Now I have here my thingy, but nothing happens. Of course, because we don't have an animation yet. So there are some rules applied already, but there is no animation. So let's create our animation. And this is going to be on, again, the class ticker and on P. So every paragraph inside the ticker is going to have this animation. The animation for ticker is 50 seconds linear, 0 seconds infinite. Okay, nice. So this is our animation. This is the animation speed, 50 seconds, and it's going to be there for infinitely. So forever it's going to animate that thing. Then we have another rule for our flex container. Type 0, 0, and auto. So everything is nicely aligned. And let's put in a padding to the left. -10 pixel. Okay, and that's that. So now our ticker is going to be animated. So I can publish that and go back to our page and take a look. And again, nothing is happening. Why is it like that? There are two things. First thing is we need to tell this container, this HTML container here, that it has a class. So I'm going to HTML attributes and give it a class, ticker. It's very important to have this class. Now you see already, as soon as I apply this, this class is putting in the padding, and it's also animating. So it's very, very slow, but it is doing something. So let's save that. Save that. Okay, but now we don't see anything. Nothing is going on here. So why is that? There are two things. First thing is we need to create some animations. So let's create our animation, and we're going to do this with keyframes. So keyframes are going to change how our animation starts and ends. We are using this translate 3D, and we start with -100%. So the whole container is going to be on the side with -100%, and at 100% the translation gets resetted to its start point. So that's very important. So let's publish this and reload. And now we see, okay, this starts to move here very, 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 very slowly. We can change that. I go to my inspection box, and in here we have our ticker, and the ticker is here our CSS rules, which we defined earlier. So now we can start playing around with the speed here. So if I put in 10 seconds, it will take 10 seconds. If I put in 1 second, it puts in 1 second. And what we see here now is it moves along, and as soon as it hits this 100% width field, it goes back. So that's what our animation is actually doing. So what we need to do now is we need to change this content size. So we need to put in more pieces of content, or a longer piece of content. So you could put in different content items or different things to fill up that space. So what we need is actually to fill up the whole space, which can then be resetted in the end and start from the beginning. So that's what we're doing now. So go into your HTML content item and copy your content. Of course, you can put in here whatever you want. It doesn't matter. You can have some sentences in here or dynamic content or whatever. So I will just copy this a few times and save it. And now it starts to roll in here, which is really, really nice. So this fills up the whole space, and in the end, when it reaches the end, it gets set back again. So this is actually really, really nice. But there is still one problem I want to show you and what we are going to fix. And now it goes through, and as soon it reaches the end, it's going to be resetted. There you go. Of course, you saw this. There is no content anymore. It's snapped back to the beginning. So what we need to do now is we need to copy these two things and change the position of the first one and of the second one, and then let them run together. And then the first one gets resetted and the next one gets resetted, and so on. So then we don't see that there is something going on behind, and that the one is going to set back every time as soon as it's over. So that's very, very low tech. It's only CSS as promised. So, and this is what we're going to do now. So first thing, we go back to our HTML content and we simply duplicate the whole thing in here. So let's save that, save and work, save the work. And now we have two layers of the same content running next to each other or beneath each other. That's the one thing. The other thing is we need to change a little bit in here as well. Let's put in some padding in here. That's the one thing, so it looks a little bit nicer. Okay, so let's put in some padding in here and publish the same thing. And now let's reload our page. And now we have our thing running. Okay, that's that. That's how it works. You can do this wherever you want in each CMS. It works in each CMS the same. You can do this with simple HTML and these 3 CSS rules. It's super, super simple. And you only need like very few containers. It's completely different and completely low tech compared to a lot of other things I saw. I researched a lot on how to do this the smartest way, and I think this is really one of the smartest ways. It's so simple compared to a lot of other code pens I found, and so on and so forth. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you like it or how you use it or where it doesn't work or whatever, then I can help you, and I see you in the next video.